If then scripts. Now you know how to write scripts. Now let's get into one step up. Some advanced scripts, some if then scripts. These are the scripts which will define some variables, and if those variables are met, then you could run those scripts. In if then script statement, if this happens, do this. Otherwise, do that. So whatever that you define that has to be met, then it will run it. Otherwise, it'll give you some different output depending how you write a script. To better illustrate this concept of if then script statements, let's get it into our machine. Okay, which directory we are in? We are in our home directory, and the directory inside of it is my scripts. In this directory, we're going to create a new script, and we're going to call it vi if then script. Again, it does not have to be the name that I'm picking. You could pick any name like my script or XYZ or ABC, anything that you want. So when we want to write a script, you do vi and the name of the file. It will get you into the insert mode. So the first thing you do if you want to write a script is define a variable. Now I already have a script written that I'm going to copy it from, so it will save us time. And this is the script which checks for the variable. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it. Now let's look at what this script does. This script is gonna look for count equal 100. So if count equal 100, which is the variable, then it's gonna say echo the count is 100. If it is not equal to 100, then it's gonna say the count is not 100. So that's what pretty much if else statement does. So let's look at our script. Let's run it. Let's first save it. And once we save it, we'll of course verify the file is created. Yes, what's inside of the file, we'll look into it, and it has exactly the same thing that we typed in. Now we need to give executable permission to this script. Verify it. Yes, it does have executable permission, and I'm gonna run it. There you go. It says the count is 100. Perfect. Because we defined in our variable that the count is equal to 100. So what happens if we change the count to, let's say, 1? We save it and we run it. Once we run it, it says count is not 100. So this is the exact purpose of if then statements. Is if it looks for the variable, whatever the variable is defined, if the variable value is not met, it will tell you exactly what you want it to do. You could also change the output by saying if then else, saying sorry, the count, let's make it lowercase, count is not 100. Again, count is 100. This is our variable, and it says if bracket count equal 100, then echo it, count is 100. Else, otherwise, echo sorry, the count is not 100. And phi is the opposite of if, and it is telling the script now you should exit out, that your work is done. An if else statement is done. So you exit out of it by saving it, and now when you run it, it tells you, sorry, the count is not 100. So you just change the output to whatever you want, and that's what the if statement, if else or if then statement does. Another example of if else statement that I'm gonna pick is right here. I'm gonna copy it and I'm gonna create a new script, is if then new. I'm gonna define the variable which I already copied, and the first command I have clear. It means when the script runs, it's gonna clear the screen. I don't want to see anything that's already on the screen. Next thing it's gonna do is if -e, which is used, which is the option that is used to check if a file exists or not. So it's saying if this file, home ifl arrow.txt file exists, then what you should do, you should then echo file exist. Else, if file does not exist, then say echo file does not exist. And that's what pretty much it's doing. So let's run this command. And we of course have to give executable permissions. Let's verify it has executable permission. Okay, it does. Now let's run it. If now new. Okay, when you run it, it says file does not exist. It's telling you the actual thing. Why? Because there is no file exist. Let's do cat if then, and it's the file exists. Where should the file exist? The file should exist in my home directory error.txt. So I'm gonna create a file now. I'm gonna just touch it and I'm gonna create this file. The file is created. Now I'm gonna run the script. And now it says file does exist. So this is sometimes a very useful command, and it is a very useful tool for system administrators who wanted to run this command at a certain intervals or a certain day, because an application creates some error files or not, and they run this script on cron job to see if the file exists or not. If it does, it means the application is running fine. If it does not, then it means the file does not exist, and it will throw you an error message. So this is a if then statement, and we do have other if else statements examples in this file as well. And this file is also part of your resources, your handouts, and I want you to try out every single script, create every new script, and try out different values that you have here. So this is a very cool script that I have written. It tells you about your name, and it's asking you, do you like working in IT? And it asks you, if you respond yes, it'll tell you you are cool. If it does not, you say you should try IT. It's just a good feel. So I want you to run the script on your own, create a new file, write the script, and execute it. And I'm very sure it will run just fine without any error.